My name is Amy Smiley. This is my action research presentation for the University of the Cumberlands 2018. My vision statement. My vision is excel as a creative leader in education and prepare my students to succeed in tomorrow's world. Introduction and literature review. The purpose of this study is to examine the impact of fluency in reading on student instruction and student scores in a reading block and increase to Tier 2 and Tier 3 students in response to intervention pullouts in the first grade. My research shows that as students engage in guided and independent reading, their ability to recognize words, their vocabulary increases, their comprehension advances, and their reading fluency, both in terms of word recognition, automaticity, and prosody, improves. Children also need to observe fluent reading by adults and other fluent readers. Reading to children also provides children with a model of what oral reading should sound like, embedded with expression that helps to enhance the listener's understanding of the text. Our research questions. Number 1, how does fluency in RTI impact reading instruction in first grade? Number 2, how does fluency in RTI reading impact reading scores in the first grade? The subjects used for this study were first grade students at Ben Gate Elementary. 2 first grade classes were used for this research project. Part of a first grade class used small group instruction during RTI, while the other class only used whole group instruction. The class population included a diverse population of students. Both classes contained some special ed students and students who are Tier 2 and Tier 3 students in response to intervention. The classes also included African American, Caucasian, and Hispanic students. These are the methods of measurement that I used. Our district has created a reading inventory continuum, and this project compared student growth using the district-made RIC assessment. The teacher surveys were written up according to the fluency strategies. Here's my analysis. Again, the RIC. This data was analyzed by looking at the number of students that showed growth in fluency in both classrooms. And my teacher surveys were analyzed by looking at the teachers' fluency strategies in small group settings. Here are my results. Each student had an individual goal of 80%, as well as a class growth of 80%. And during my analysis, I noticed that some of my below-level students needed more than 3 fluency checks a year. These students need to continue showing growth, and students should complete a fluency check monthly instead of 3 times a year. Some more discussion. The results show that some students improved their fluency skills from receiving small group instruction. Some of the limitations in this research were administering the fluency checks for the first time. There were several first graders who did not understand to read quickly and did not have the decoding skills initially to do the fluency check. They spent a significant amount of time trying to sound out words, thus not reading as many words as possible. Some of the special ed students need to be on a kindergarten level fluency check instead of a first grade fluency check. Those were my observations. Unfortunately, these students felt very frustrated and gave up too quickly. Some of the actions that I will take. I will present these findings to grade level PLC meetings. I will continue working in small groups with my students during RTI. I will keep track of growth for the 2018-2019 school year using the district-made RIC. And I also want to establish and implement a plan for students that are not making growth. Here's my conclusion. I thoroughly enjoyed this action research project because it is something that I do with my students every day. The research provided data from our first grade team to use during our weekly grade level PLC meetings. We can vertically plan with kindergarten and second grade using this data as well. I have since moved grades this year and I'm now teaching second grade. I can take this research and implement it into my second grade class. And I also would like to work closer with the RTI team to look at data to determine RTI growth and how to move students from Tier 3 to Tier 2 and hopefully move all students to Tier 1. And here are my references that I cited during fluency instruction. Thank you.